Hi, my name is Will Pincek. I work for Juniper's Education Services Department, and this Learning Byte will discuss the automatic software upgrades feature that can be used in both virtual chassis fabric and virtual chassis topologies. So we'll start off talking about software version mismatches and how the master RE handles that in a virtual chassis or virtual chassis fabric, and then we'll do an actual example. So here we have a topology. We've got the master RE, RE0 here. We've got a backup RE, and this is all in a virtual chassis fabric, but it could equally be a virtual chassis. But here's the backup RE. We've got a line card, and these guys are up and running. They're all part of a virtual chassis fabric. Then we add a new member, member 3. Now the problem with member 3 is that it has a different version of software than all the other devices. Remember, in order to form a virtual chassis fabric, all switches need to be running the same version of software. So it is the master RE that detects when a newly added member has a different version of software. And that's in fact what it does. Now what the master RE does is it allows it to become part of the virtual chassis fabric in this case. So if I say show virtual chassis status, here I see that the newly added member 3 has been added to the virtual chassis fabric, but it's put in the inactive state. The inactive state means that this member cannot forward traffic, but it is under the control of the master RE. So the problem is, in order to become active, we need to upgrade this member switch. So we would do that with the request system software add command for member 3. And that would work just fine, but wouldn't it be nice if we could just have the master RE automatically upgrade the newly added member 3? And sure enough it can with this new auto update feature. So if I look under edit virtual chassis, it is possible. There's a new set of commands here under edit virtual chassis. It says auto software update. It's there that you would put in the name and location of the jinstall files that will be used to upgrade any members. Now this location could be off the box, but if it is on the virtual chassis fabric, it needs to be on the master RE. So here I've said it's under var temp for both of these. Now notice that there are different types of packages. Remember, there's different switch types that can be part of a virtual chassis or virtual chassis fabric. So in the case of a QFX based virtual, in this case it's a virtual chassis fabric, so it's QFX based. But you can have QFX 5100, so that's QFX5, QFX3 for the 3500 and 3600s, and we also support EX4300s in a virtual chassis fabric. So if you plan on using any of those, you need to specify their package here under Auto Software Update. Now, after this is committed, if any new members are added that have a mismatched version of software, the master RE will look in this location for the particular switch type, because it detects the switch type, and it will automatically upgrade the switch to the particular version that's listed here. So what we'll do is we'll go through an example. Okay, so we'll start out by analyzing our topology. This is our topology. So again, similar to what I've just been discussing, we've got 3 member switches that are up and running the same version of software. We're going to add member 3. Okay, and we're going to add member 3, but member 3 is going to have a wrong version of software. And member 3 will be an EX4300. Okay, these are QFX 5100s. This is an EX4300, and this guy will also be an EX4300. So we'll need to have the EX4300 software listed in the Auto Software Update stanza. And just as a heads up, all the interfaces are enabled except for 1.3 and 1.2. We haven't enabled those yet. That's what we'll do to join this virtual chassis fabric. So let's start out by looking at the master RE. So I'll bring up the master RE CLI. Okay, so here I say show virtual chassis status. Sure enough, I have members 0, 1, and 2. Okay, 0 and 1 are master and backup. We've got a line card, which is an EX4300, and everything looks good there. I also want to show you the show configuration virtual chassis. I want to show you that I've listed the software package for the 4300, which is the new member we're going to be adding. I listed it under var temp and this jinstall, right? Notice it's 13.251D21.1, which hopefully that matches our version of software. So if I say show version, this is going to show me every version of software on every member so far. So if I look at every member, including the master RE, it's using that version of software. So obviously that's the one we want to upgrade to if we add a new member that doesn't have that same version of software. So they're all members are using the same version of software right now. And last but not least, I want to show you, let's do a file list var temp, and let's make sure that our software version is there. So yes, the jinstall software version that I need to upgrade the EX4300 to is listed under var temp. So it needs to be located there, or else this won't work. Okay, so everything looks good. It's ready for our auto software update. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the console of the new switch that we're going to add, which is this new member 3. So I'm on there. I want to do a show version. So look at this. The version is wrong. Okay, now notice it's 20.3. Remember, I think we're using 21.1 on the virtual chassis fabric. And then I'm going to go ahead and enable one of these interfaces. So I'm going to enable 1.2. And as soon as I do that, this guy's going to join the virtual chassis fabric. So I'll do a request, virtual chassis BC port set pick slot 1 port 2. Okay, this should cause the virtual chassis fabric to detect it. Yep, sure enough it did, and it's now been pulled into the virtual chassis fabric. Now it's going to go through, the master is going to detect that this member does not have the new version of software. So I'll switch back over. Now here's the master. If I say show virtual chassis, notice that the new member is inactive. So hang on a second. I'm going to go back to the this is the console of the new member 3, and if we sit here long enough, we'll see this member get upgraded. So again, we're on the console of the newly added member. It takes a few minutes for the master RE to push the jinstall image over to the newly added member, but it does, and now it does the upgrade. So now I'm going to switch back over to the console of the master RE, and if I say show virtual chassis, we'll see that this guy's no longer present. That's because it's being rebooted and also upgraded. So it takes those several minutes just to push that image over to the new member. Then the master RE automatically issues the request system software add command for that member, and that's what we were seeing on the console of the new EX member that was added, member 3. So now we will just wait for some period of time, and then this member will come back up after the upgrade. So we're just going to wait a few minutes to see that happen. So after a few minutes, here we are. We're on the console of the master RE, and sure enough, the new member's been added. It's present, which is the status we're looking for. It's a line card, EX4300. If I say show version, if I look at all the versions, sure, on here's member 3. It's been upgraded without any extra manual commands on the CLI. We just had to have it in the config. And that's it. That's automatic software update. Hope that helps, and I'll see you on the next Learning Byte.
Visit the Juniper Education Services website to learn more about courses. View our full range of classroom, online, and e-learning courses. Learning paths, industry segment and technology-specific training paths. Juniper Network's certification program, the ultimate demonstration of your competence. And the training community, from forums to social media. Join the discussion.